you have a Game Boy Advance with a broken screen? Well, fear not, I am here to save you and your gaming console. Let's rock on. Here we go. Hello and welcome to Big Jim Gaming with me, Big Jim. I love all things gaming, both consoles and handheld. And the Game Boy Advance was a real milestone. Not only did it have the awesome form factor, so you could hold it for hours and hours upon end, it just has an amazing library of games, and access to the Game Boy Color games as well. The only thing is, after years of use and enjoyment, they can break, as is this one. So I'm going to show you a very quick, easy DIY job, how you can replace a broken screen with a new one in your Game Boy Advance, so it can give you another 20 years of fun and gaming. Right, so tools that we're going to need. A 3-wing or tri-wing screwdriver. Nintendo uses a particular type of screw, and you can't get it out without one of these. Very important, just a couple of quid. Our trusty and faithful Phillips 00 screwdriver with magnetic tip. A pair of needle nose pliers, just in case we need to get anything out that's small. And of course, some plastic tweezers. I always use plastic for delicate work because it's less chance of breaking anything. And of course we've got the GBA. So first thing we need to do, take out the game, put that to one side, take off the battery cover, and take out the batteries. And we won't need those now till the end of the build. And we need to take out some screws. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they are the tri-wing screws. Let's get those out. Now we've taken those out with the tri-wing screwdriver. There is also a black screw in here, which is actually a Phillips head, and we're just going to take that out now as well. Right, so now we've done that, it is time to take the back cover off. Now you might feel a little bit of resistance just from the old adhesive, although it's probably mostly gone by now, and that is the back shell of our Game Boy Advance. You can also now take off, and you'll actually see that it's stuck inside here, so I'm just going to put them that way. The side panels, I'm just putting them back in like this so I remember where they go. It doesn't have to be precise. Then you've got the triggers. Remember, these have to go the right way round for obvious reasons. The good news is you won't be able to get it wrong. And the other trigger as well. And again, I'm just lifting these out very, very slowly and carefully. And I'm putting them in here where they go. Now we're at the motherboard. Next up, we're going to take off this ribbon cable. Now, if you've got any experience at all with ribbon cables, you'll know that they are very delicate things. So we're just going to do this as if it was made of glass almost, because they are hard to replace. So you're pushing up here, you see, these little pegs. So you push it up with your nail. I would recommend using your hands, not any tools, just because it's easier not to make any mistakes with your fingers. And then, very, very carefully, pop your screwdriver underneath, gentle pull, no pressure at all, and now we have the ribbon cable separated. Next up, we have two Phillips screws. We have one here and we have one here. Let's get those undone. As you may have noticed earlier, I find it a lot easier to do things on the side, but I'm keeping it flat just because I don't want anything to come off by mistake and get misplaced. So far all we've done is undo 9 screws, including this one I'm working on now, and 1 ribbon cable. You see what I mean about it being a DIY job? Not as scary as it needs to be. So now we've got that done too. And now we are ready to remove our motherboard. Grab this little bit here and just gently as you can, because it is a delicate piece of equipment and it is old, take it off, put it to one side, nice and flat. I'm just going to put it there. And this gives us direct access to our screen. Now at this point, if you wish to change the buttons, you've got direct access to them here. I don't need to, the buttons on this are really in good condition, so there's no need. Now what you have to do, there is sealant, or adhesive sealant, all the way along here. Obviously it's quite old, so it shouldn't put up much of a fuss, but if you just gently twist each corner until you feel it give, and then once you've got a corner popped up, sorry, we're still twisting at the moment. So we're just gently twisting each corner, and you see how it's popping up. We're just prying away the adhesive. Now we've done that a bit, so I'm just going to get in there with my hand. Again, no tools on the delicate screen, and we're just pulling it away. Please remember, this is an old, delicate piece of machinery. I'm not saying you need to treat it like it's made of glass, but if you keep that mentality, you can't really go wrong. And there we go. Look, we're pulling it off. Now, I actually want to keep this adhesive round the edge here from my new screen. So I'm going to separate it from the old one like this. And just gently, with my fingers, push it back in place. The reason you want to keep this is because it keeps the border around the edge of the screen. And there we have it. That's our old screen. Now, while we're here, I'm also going to take out this front piece of plastic. Oh, there goes a button. Seeing as we're here, let me just show you how easy these buttons are to change. So you see it's just shot out on me. Back in now. Piece of cake. So yeah, we're going to change this. And this is again just stuck in with adhesive. So we're just going to give it a bit of push, a bit of pressure even. And you'll notice that the surround for the screen is still in place, and we want to keep that there. That's off. At this point, I owe you a slight apology because I forgot to press record when I put the new screen in. That said, I'm sure you can use your imagination of me taking something square and placing it in a square hole. That's literally all you're missing. I took it upside down, so with the screen facing outwards, this ribbon cable at the top, and I put it in. I'm sure you can imagine that part. Right, let's put our motherboard back on. This should be nice and simple. I'll turn it over. So you see this circle here? That's the speaker, and that's where it goes. So line it up and just gently push it on. Now you see where this power button slipped off earlier on me? I'll bring it closer to the camera. Make sure that you've got this bit here over this bit of plastic, because that's what it controls. Like that, you see. And of course, your ribbon cable, which you're going to reattach, needs to come over. Press the buttons on the other side, make sure they all feel firm. And let's get it put back in. Right, ribbon cable time. So, I hate ribbon cables, but these are actually remarkably easy, because all you're doing is pushing it in, just like that. So it's just pushed in where the other one came from, and at the edge, just push down with your fingernail, these little grey bits, and you know it's working. We're going to put the 2 screws in that we previously took off. So these are the 2 Phillips screws. And one of them goes just in here, like so. You should feel that tightening just as you're holding it steady with your left hand. Only do it as tight as you need to, just gently. You don't need to screw it in as hard as you can. Remember, you're taking a metal screw and you're using it in plastic. Metal is stronger than plastic. Too much force, you'll break the plastic. I think finger tight there. So now we have that back in. We already have here the sides, because I retained those. We're just going to put now the shoulder batters back on. If you can't remember which way round they go, it's got an R and an L on it. Just remember you're holding it in reverse at the moment. So this one goes in here, and it just, you see this bit of metal here? It just slots down. You have to just use a bit of feel until you feel it push down. There you go. And it lines up with the side just there. And you can actually press it and feel it resisting, as it should. Same with the left one, same piece of metal. Feel it down, pop it into place, push it on, feel it resisting. A bit of side's just fallen off here, but that just clicks back on there. So far, so very good. Now we're going to get our back plate, and we're going to push this back on as well. When everything lines up, you'll feel it, just like that. Now before you screw it back on, if you want to, you can just do a quick test around the edges. So I notice here actually that that's not as it should be. So I'm just going to have a quick look at that now. Don't be afraid to have more than one go at this sort of thing. It's not a race. It's a job. And you can actually see now that what's happened is this power button has slipped underneath the motherboard as I was reattaching it. Quick fix. Told you it was a quick fix. But don't worry about that. If I was that concerned, I would have edited it out. But I left it in on purpose just because I wanted to show that it's okay. If you don't do something 100% right first time, that's okay. You just go back, you fix your mistake, in my case letting the power button slip underneath the circuit board, and you just redo it. Took seconds. Right, so do the test again. Slot this back on top. This time we're going to look all the way around again, and you can see that is sealing perfectly. Now before I do replace the 7 screws, I am just going to give this a test. So we're going to put the batteries back in. We're going to turn on the power button. We're going to cross our fingers and turn it over with trepidation. Yes, look at that, working perfectly. Right, turn her off, get it put back together. One final job to make it look complete, a nice new front screen protector. And this is simplicity itself. Peel it off. Line her up and stick her on. Perfect. And there we have it. Actually, quite an easy fix, wasn't it? 7 screws to take off the back cover, 2 screws to take off the motherboard, plus that ribbon cable. Then just a bit of adhesive. Pull on, push on, and reverse the steps. And as you can see now, our Game Boy Advance is as good as new. Really pleased with that. I can now keep this, play on it some more. I might even just keep it forever, you know. After all, if I have to replace one screen every 20 years, that's not bad going. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful as well. I do put out a new video every Friday, plus bonus content midweek. If you want to subscribe, don't fight the urge, just press that button. Watch this space for the next one, and I'll see you soon. Ta-da!